Hi, good morning, dear students. Warm greetings from Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, deemed to be University, Chennai. My name is Aran Joni. I'm going to host today's session. Hope everyone is safe and well at home. Thank you for your responses and thank you for your great support in joining this session. On behalf of the organizing committee, I take the privilege in welcoming you all to the live webinar on evolution of information technology in telecom, organized by Satyabama IEI student branch in association with the Institution of Engineers, India. I also welcome Ms. Ilakia, our alumna, who has joined us today to handle this session. We welcome you, Ms. Ilakia.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
It is indeed a unique pleasure and privilege for us to express our sincere gratitude to our founder chancellor, Colonel Dr. J.P.S. Sir, who always showers his divine blessings. We take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude and earnest thanks to our Chancellor Ma'am, Dr. Marie Zena Johnson, and our President Sir, Dr. Marie Johnson, for the continuous support and high endeavors in motivating us to organize these kind of online webinars during this COVID-19 crisis situation. And in today's session, we are going to learn how the telecommunications industries have changed and how it is merging and intersecting with the other industries such as the information technology. And today we have Ms. Ilakia, our alumna, who is now a technical analyst and solution architect at Virtusa Consultancy, Chennai. We once again welcome you, Ilakia. Ms. Ilakia has started her career as a senior systems engineer at Infosys Technologies Limited, Bangalore, from 2015 to 2018. Now, at present, she is a designer and senior systems engineer with 5+ years of experience in software development and business critical applications in telecommunication domain. She has also experience in business as a business analyst, the designer for migration and rationalization for many applications in telecom domain. We are very happy to have you here, Ms. Ilakia, to deliver a talk on evolution of information technology in telecom. Over to you, Ilakia.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome and the introduction. It's really nice to hear about from you, ma'am. And hi all, thanks for all joining in. Hope you're all safe at home in this quarantine. It's not getting you bored. Let's have this session very interactive and interesting. I will try to make it interesting by giving few help you with the industrial knowledge, what we're doing in software, and what we're all using every day. Let's make it together, and let's learn something new today. Okay, so let's start. So I'm going to talk here about evolution of IT in telecom. So what is telecom, guys? Like, oh, how can I change my slide? 1 minute.
You can press spacebar.
It wasn't coming.
It will come. You press twice. It will come.
Yeah.
You go to full from the beginning.
Yeah. It's coming. So what is telecom, guys? Any idea? It's just a part of our life, right? Like, you can talk. You can just unmute it and talk, answer, get it interactive. Anyone? What is telecom? Okay. Okay, let me tell you about what is telecom. It's just a part of life. We have phones. We are communicating from one end to another end toward the world, all over the world, via a lot of applications we have. Not only communicate for ordering things, for ordering food, you have Swiggy. For chatting with people, you have WhatsApp. For streaming your favorite movies, you have Netflix today, because quarantine is not boring because of Netflix, right? And Amazon Prime, all these things. So we all need internet for that. So how internet is enabled? It's because of telecom. It is a backbone of internet and communication, your voice, data, everything. This is the backbone. So yeah, that is the introduction for telecom. Let me move. Okay. So actually, I'm going to talk about focus of IT industry providing service to telecom today. Like, so how software industry is, helping telecom to deliver a few things and achieve in day-to-day life. What is the yeah? I'm going to talk about the IT services today. So what IT does here, like how IT helps telecom industry. So for example, how if you want a broadband connection, how will you get anyone, like anyone want to discuss like how they get a broadband connection today? If you want a broadband connection, what is it? Hello.
You can proceed, like, let me control that.
Okay, yeah, so anyone is ready to answer for my question? Guys, how will you order a broadband normally? We call up to a customer care number or we log into the website, right? If you want to order a broadband connection, you log into a website or call a particular broadband, service provider. So how do you order? Like, so yeah, so if you call them, they will give you a service like, okay, they'll be asking your address and, the details. They'll be, why they're asking your address. Yeah, somebody start messaging. Yes, exactly. So that's what I was about to say. So you contact a service provider. Yes, you call or you log into the website and you raise a query. I mean, SR service request, or you call them like, I need a broadband connection today, and they'll be checking. You'll be telling your address and everything. They'll be checking the connectivity in your area, right? So whether and they'll be sending a engineer to your house, right? So they'll be checking whether you have, Ethernet jack installed, router installed, everything they'll be providing you, installing in the first place. They'll be checking your LAN connection. If not, they'll be providing you that connection. All these are like, and they after or once this is a part of a journey, this is a physical, inventory things happening, sending an engineering check for the connectivity, everything. So after that, what is the thing, like you have to activate, right? Basically, you have to activate your router. Let me go to the next slide. So yeah, so all these things we call the main, we usually call it as OSS and BSS. Yeah. So this is a main part of, software and hardware comes together and provide all these services to, to the customer day-to-day life. So what I'm going to talk the importance of OSS and BSS, what is the, flow happening over there, and all other things. Yeah. So operation support system, that is called OSS. So let me start with BSS, like business service system. So what it does is you need to order, right? So they have an order management platform. So for if you want a broadband, you're calling and ordering them for a broadband, or you're logging into a website and try to order a broadband service, right? So that is actually a application which runs there, and they take all the details regarding your address, your, what type of day, service you want. All these things have been ordered over there, and you have a product catalog, right? So if you can't blindly order a broadband, like according to your needs, the speed and the data, how much data you want to access every day, all these information, all the itinerary will be given in the product catalog. That is a separate thing. So then, yeah, of course, you have to bill it. You have to buy the product. So the billing platform is also there. So once everything is done and order comes and flows into this design, right? So like I said, you need to install a router in your house for enabling an internet connection. So you need an inventory. They have to go back and check in the inventory if they have a physical interface or any a router available, and they have to install in your house, right? So once it is done, the design is whatever the so like the checking happening in the while installing. Like you want an internet jack, you want a LAN cable in your house to connect. So all these things will come into the design part. And once everything is installed in your house, you need an activation that has a separate team. So they will create your user ID and password. They'll be activating the internet in your house, right? So it's always like order comes down and false comes up. So what is false? Like once the activation is done, the journey is not over with the telecom, right? They have to give you the proper service. Like you don't want any network connectivity issue, or suddenly so your network should not be stopped at any point of time, right? It's very important. You'll be in office calls or anything, like your personal things also will be like very annoyed why it is very slow and all. So for those things, we have CRM. This is something called customer relationship manager. So you know, right, what is customer relationship? You have, like, in a day-to-day life, you have any problem with your Airtel or Vodafone, you just call up to them to a toll-free number and tell your problem, right? So that is customer relationship manager. We have hell lot of tools for that, for managing, software applications for managing these things. Yeah. So yeah, I want to talk about service assurance. So when I started my career with Infosys, like I worked in a project which involved service assurance. So I was working for a UK client, like a telecom company over there. So yeah, so service assurance is they have to give you a good service because you're paying for them, right? So for that, there are a lot of activities are in running behind. They have to they'll be monitoring the particular, if if your device is somewhere located near a data center is located near your location, so they'll be monitoring throughout, like 24/7. There will be this service assurance is part of a network. It's very close to network layer. So they'll be monitoring all the devices which are responsible for your connection. Be always monitor proactively and reactively, right? They give a premium service. If you pay high, they have to actually give you a good service, right? Those things if will be monitored here, and if anything goes wrong, speed has decreased, or it will be automatically or manually will be raising events or alarms for get to track in it, right? So that's what is happening in service assurance. It's an infrastructure part. So yeah, this is a general briefing about OSS and BSS platform, which is very important. If you are, if you really want to work in telecom, or if you're getting a telecom project in an IT company, you will be ending up working in one of the components from here, either OSS or BSS, definitely. Yeah. So yeah. So all these things are the basics of OSS and BSS. Let's move to technologies that used in telecom industry today. So So artificial intelligence, what is artificial intelligence? Are we, do we have any artificial intelligence in today's world currently? Anyone? No. Just let's yeah. Sorry? Sorry, your voice is really breaking. I couldn't hear anything.
Robotics, ma'am.
Robotics. Okay. 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 Robotics. Yes, maybe. But what is artificial intelligence? Like any example? Let's not get into a very theoretical way. Anything in day-to-day life you're seeing, which is intelligent, which is doing its intelligence by its own. Okay, somebody's saying. To expand our business. Okay, but I was asking what is artificial intelligence? Like basically what intelligence does today. Okay, let me give you an example. You might, basic example is your shopping website, right? Amazon. You will be actually going and searching for some shoes. Like say you like some Adidas shoes and you're searching for it. And you get the recommendations, right? Like automatically you might like this, you may also like this. They'll be showing some lipsticks or some other thing which you may like it. You you don't know what is that, why they're showing this thing, basically. Or simple YouTube, you play a song of A.R. Rahman song, automatically you will get a related, you might like this of related A.R. Rahman songs or related with that hero or heroine. Everything just pops up. All these are like artificial intelligence, right? It's happening. It takes a historical data, complete data of your analysis is running. So it tries to relate. Okay, this person. It tries to analyze your mentality, your mindset. Like somebody said, to expand the business. Yes, of course. You wanted to purchase a shoe, but somebody is showing something which you may like, and you end up buying that also. So yeah. So the artificial intelligence is that. So examples are like not only that, and if you want to Google search, you try to search some place like Agra. Okay, you're typing Agra and like in Delhi. So next, immediately you erase it and try to type something else related to Delhi, or you type, it will automatically give, okay, this is Taj Mahal. Like if you put T, yeah, Taj Mahal. Okay, maybe you're going to search about Taj. It intelligently, it understands your mindset, what you want to search. It gives automatically, it populates it, right? So that is artificial intelligence in today's world. Like simply it's happening. And then shopping with a website, I gave you an example. And some more I want to tell, which is like your Siri, right? It connects to the internet and it recognizes your voice, your accent, pronunciation, everything. It understands your language, right? So that is also an artificial. Alexa. So all these things are like artificial intelligence. So the live example of artificial intelligence. So what is it does is optimization and predictive maintenance of telecom companies. So in telecom also, so it what it helps is like telecom will enable these services, right? It helps to enable these services for you. So that's what it is that it is done. Yeah. So next is 1 minute. I want to show you something. Yeah. So I want to talk about artificial intelligence and telecom service assurance in specific, because today's topic is telecom, right? So let's talk about it. What the architecture is, we have something called topology, okay, where the network is hosted or your devices are hosted. Like basically, you have a network which has routers, nodes, cables, switches. All these things are your devices, right? Like if you know. So those are the topologies. It's the top layer, like where, all the changes is going to happen. So we have, so it is being connected to particular, you've been read about OSI models, right? All the layers, 7 layers of, yeah. So OSI layer comes into the picture here. So you will be, enabling the OSI model here. So yeah, all the devices will be connected in the network layer. Yeah, basically. So what it happens is it will be monitored basically by a monitoring tool. That tool is having an intelligence to what it does. So what it does is, like, if any device is going down or any ports are going down or any switches is going down, it raises an alarm. It will raise an event. Okay, basically in simple words, it raises like, oh, this particular device name, this has been down. Okay, this router is down. It gives you a notification, kind of, that is called that is called as events in telco base. Okay, so that has been raised. Okay, it checks for logs, metrics, values. If anything goes down because of temperature is high, it gives a temperature value there. Like, that is a metrics, right? So what happens is, basically, what AI does is it automatically reduces noise reduction. So noise reduction is like, if one, because it is all parallelly connected. If you see the network in the data center or service, our center, all the devices are internally connected to each other to give some data, to transmit the data, right? So what it does is, if anything goes down, it might affect some other router which is connected to this router. So it controls the noise reduction, right? So we have to find go and check, oh, how many devices are okay. Okay, fine, yeah. Then we try to correlate in the sense, like, correlation takes place is the RCA. Because of one device, 1,000 devices would have been went down. You need to find the root cause, which device actually went down and caused these alarms or events. Okay, and you need to find that intelligently and suppress it. That's what AI is doing here. Okay, back in like backend. So we find the RCA for that. It automatically, the system will find, if it is installed with AI platform, techniques, and whatever the code base we have, it automatically finds it, and it will suppress all the 1,000 alarms, and it will give you only one alarm saying this is the root cause. Because of this router, others are failed or neighboring devices are failed. Yeah. So yeah, that is correlation. And what is casualty analysis is how many customers have been affected because of this router, because of this device. That device might give data, or your Wi-Fi or internet or your the calls for 30 of them or 100 of them. So because of these many people are affected. That is a casualty analysis that is also done. Okay, so situation room is a kind of a control room where they can see everything like clubbed together. And yeah, the visualization part, we have some application which is a present. We present all these notifications. It's a presentation layer basically. Like, we present through an application, we give all this notification. If any the network center people, they want to know where it is actually down and all, they can actually come and view it here. Yeah. So the workflow engine is like completely, okay, once this is down, we know it is down because of the notification, wonderful things, whatever the AI does right. So we want to, find what is the workflow, how to fix this problem, how to fix this fault. So basically that will include your workflow, engine, which we have few automations, algorithms written for that, and it raises a fault automatically. Okay, so like that, it will be going, the flow will be going. Yeah, got it. So yeah, so this is artificial intelligence in telecom service assurance. Okay, let's talk about the this one, AI and ML tool sets landscape, right? So are the languages, framework, databases we use for, AI, or ML is the machine learning, the technology which we use for AI, right? So AI is a theory, and how we make it live is like with machine learning, right? So languages means like a Java, we have Python, Scala, and programming R. These are the languages we use it for ML, machine learning or AI. Yeah. So frameworks is TensorFlow. You've heard maybe somewhere. Yeah. So processing is the data processing part where we, collect, where this big data, other things will come into the picture, and we have the Spark. These are the technology used currently. Databases, SQL, PostgreSQL, all these databases are used. Data flow is like for flowing the data. Yeah. Somebody wants to talk.
No, you
Okay.
can continue.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Self-driving car. I was about to come to that. I don't know your name. Yeah. That is also a part of AI. Very good example. Autonomous vehicle. Self-driving, like because of the artificial intelligence configured in the car, it actually drive automatically. Yeah, that is going to come. And it's there in US and all. Tesla, all those cars, runs in artificial intelligence, right? Yeah. Why today's generation is showing very much interest on artificial intelligence? Yeah, of course, no, it makes your life fantastic, easy. You don't have to see. For example, if you get an autonomous vehicle which automatically drives, you don't have to drive. You don't have to learn driving, right? You just have to learn how to use that car, like basically like use the applications, like how to drive. Put a driving mode on, and you can drive. It sends it by, you know. I'll come to that point with our like in future. Yeah, we'll talk about this like after some time. We'll take it. It will be more interesting. Like I'll give you a lot of examples as well. Yeah. So what is the certificate link will be shared at the end of the set. Okay, ma'am. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the current tools we are using for artificial intelligence. Let's move to next topic. What happened to my task space? Ma'am, am I having? Okay, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so Internet of Things, interesting, right? Like anyone, any example of Internet of Things today? Want to tell? What is Internet of Things? Definition. Let's start with the definition. Let's understand what is Internet of Things. Alexa. Yeah, cool. Yes, it is a speaker. It connects with the internet, and it connects with your home devices. They say Alexa can control your bulbs, home bulbs, if your bulbs or fans are Wi-Fi enabled, right? So yeah, it's an example of IoT. So every equipment connected with each other by a means of internet is called Internet of Things, right? You want to connect every device like AC, fridge, and the TV. They have to talk to each other, right? And if you're going out, for example, you have a smartwatch. Everything is smart today, right? But few things are like in a like uh, like upgradation state. Like we are going to make it smart. Everything like at home, if you come inside, everything is going to be smart tomorrow, right? In future. So now we have an Apple Watch. So Watch was very simple thing, just for seeing time we use it. But now we use it for a lot of things, right? It calculates the calories, it gives you a heart rate, pulse, full, so many health benefits. Watch is able to give. It tracks your pulses, like it has a sensor. So this and all is an example of it because it's working because of internet and yeah, some Bluetooth enabled behind. So yeah, so this is what Internet of Things is, right? So for example, tomorrow if you want to, you're going for a gym, if your AC is smart AC and it has an internet, connectivity, and your gas, fridge, and everything like TV, everything is connected, and you're coming from gym and it tracks your GPS location. I'm just giving you an idea. Okay, tomorrow you can actually make it real, you guys. So we are just walking from the gym and it tracks your AC can track your GPS. Okay, where are you coming? Okay, okay, you're 1 kilometer away from your house. Let me switch on the AC. So it's hot, right? It's hot outside, and you feel nice like when you come, you completely sweated out from gym, and you come inside the house, and you have your AC on, and it's chilled because it has it talks with your phone. I mean your phone or a watch. It tracks your GPS, tries to get your location, and it's automatically intelligently owning the switching on the AC, right, for you. So it makes your life comfortable. So gas and all, if it is controlled with IoT, it will be nice. Like any accidents could not happen. If you're leaving the house in a hurry, like you forgot to switch off the gas, so it automatically because you're not at home, it senses it, and because of the sensor, it senses it, and it switches off. Some question I'm getting. Yes, yes, yeah. This is a yeah. So home, like now they have remote control option for IoT, right? Like with your phone only you can control your TV. You don't have a remote. You don't want a specific physical remote for that. To you can actually, if your TV, and TV is smart nowadays anyways. So the screen mirroring thing, if you want to do it in TV, you connect in a common network Wi-Fi, and you want to share it. So phone is talking to TV basically. It shares it. What it tries to reflect whatever you're doing in the phone, right? That is one example of IoT. So what telecom does here is it enables IoT, like by before we had this IP, everything should have an IP for this IP address, right? Basically, without an IP address, any internet or like any specific device cannot talk with each other. It needs an IP address. So before, we had IPv4, which is an IP version 4, which has got limited connections and other things. Yeah. So somebody unmuted. Yeah. So we have enabled this IPv6, which is going to give a billion of unique IP address for us. So that the Internet of Things can be easy to, in tomorrow's world. Yeah. So that enablement, we are doing it in telecom. Basically, we are giving the IP, we are giving the service, we are providing the service. Let's go to this architecture diagram. So what and all is what and all is happening, if you see IoT, it's continuously data is streaming. It has a sensor device, a control cloud data passing, control applications. You want an application platform to control all these things, right? So you can install it in either in a phone or anything, an iPad, laptops, everywhere. Yeah. So it can work in web application or mobile application as well. It uses a big data exactly. So it uses the database. Everything is a data. Your GPS, everything. So data analytics part, yes. The main part is it's trying to continuously stream the data without any hindrance, right? So yeah, this is Internet of Things. Let's move to big data. Okay, I don't have a slide for this. Okay, I'm just going to explain because it's a backend completely. Yeah. So what is big data is the platform that helps to process zettabyte of data in a matter of seconds to give an actionable insight. Yeah. So we don't have, we want everything in a fraction of seconds. We want, every information, right? So big data provides zettabyte. Can you imagine, like, it's like n number of data. You can store n number of data, like what, infinite. So that big data provides to store information like that. And if you want to search any data from big data, it gives you the result in, fraction of seconds. Okay. So now everything is a data, because everything is like a computer world and mobile world. We have lot of explosion of data. Any data should not be lost. So that's why we want more storage, we want more devices, right? So that's why telecom industry is using big data. It's very important today to process the data, to monitor anything. You need big data. So we are, as a business, we are actually concerned about SLA, which is a service, license agreement. We will have a time zones for everything. We need to fix a problem as soon as possible. So for this particular thing, big data is helping us a lot. So giving a data about, if I want to take about a customer, I get every information of the customer, the area information, where is the distributor is there, where is the line connection is, everything will be stored for each and every customer. So time is very important, right? So there we have big data coming into the picture. It's very important. Yeah, example, we use Hadoop. Hadoop are the technologies, Hadoop, Spark are the technology we use today. Oh, every time I have to go. Yeah, so.
Likya?
Yeah, ma'am.
Somebody is asking doubt. I think
Okay.
The person can unmute yourself and you can ask the doubt.
Yeah.
Is that the name
Jabba,
is not...
okay. Ma'am, I have one doubt. Yeah, example, Insta, Facebook, which stores huge data, helps us predict the future. That's where the big data plays. Yes, exactly. So I was actually telling about the telecom process. Yes, this is a day-to-day. She's given a day-to-day example here. Instagram and Facebook, from somewhere you're searching in Amazon, you're searching something. I want a red shoe. It actually, it will come in Instagram as sponsored. You may like this, or from Amazon, we are providing the red shoe. And why? All the data has been shared, and those data is important for the business. Yes, to predict the future. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Your doubt is answered? Okay, let's move to. Somebody is on unmute. Yeah. So next topic I'm going to talk about is robotic process automation. Anyone heard about this? RPA? Somebody spoke about robotic thing when I asked about artificial intelligence.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what is robotic process automation? RPA. Any idea? Like, you can tell anything you want. Yes, exactly. It's algorithm based thing. Like that's our language. Like what are the things? So anywhere provides RPA. Yes. So for automation, we need a platform which is called RPA, and it has algorithm as a language. It can only understand algorithms basically. Yeah. So for example, you have lot of issues. You have enabled all the software, this connectivity, everything is there, but people face a lot of issues, right? Like small issues you are facing in a real world, and behind in the network center back there, or any software related process will have a lot of issues which doesn't need a human intervention, basically. Like, small script you want to run, or, mail you want to acknowledge. If you are buying something, you get an acknowledgement mail. Thanks for this. This is your customer, numbers, ID number, or the shopping purchase number. All these things, you want it immediately, but human cannot be that fast or that dumb to send all these data. Robot can do it, right? So the simple example I can, the routine work, every day you have to do this. Definitely it should be done, it should be acknowledged. Those things are eased with robotic process automation, which is RPA. So simple, if you want to change an internet Google password, immediately you click a forget password there, and it tries to reset. No human is doing that. It's actually done by RPA with algorithms. So that's a very good example for RPA for you guys. It immediately resets the password. Some website you have to write the password. It actually updated in the DB, or some website, some shopping websites, right? They give you the password. Netflix or anything, like they give you the password, automatically triggered some A, B, C, D, all those types of passwords will be automatically triggered by RPA thing to reduce the routine work, and human intervention is not needed. It should be resolved by its own, right? For those things, we need RPA, and it is consistent, right? If you see the picture, it is very consistent. It will be keep on doing the work monotonously the same day. Everything can be done monotonously with a consistency in it. So it is reliable, of course. Yeah, productivity. Yeah, yes. If anyone is not well, taking sick leave, that work will be delayed or not done. Those things will not be there, so that the company will be more productive because of the RPA solutions, right? So yeah, it is accurate. Yeah, it gives accurate data. So yes, this is about. Okay, I'm getting chats. Let me read it. Credit checks, new accounts. Yes, exactly. Yeah, CAPTCHA, exactly. So CAPTCHA is like, yeah, that's what everything is. Robot is saying, right, because of an algorithm. These are the day-to-day life example. Very good. Yes. Passwords, OTPs. Wow, OTP is a real best example for RPA, right? It automatically sends you the OTP number. Great. So you understood about RPA. Next is no. So RPA players who are all providing this wonderful service is SAP, Blue Prism, NICE. Pega is a business tool. Actually, it's a very. If anyone is interested in business analysis, can actually study Pega. You paid filthy. Yeah. So you can actually try getting into Pega. Yeah. algorithmxlab.com, automation anywhere. These are the players, basically. So yeah, next we have come to future of telecommunication. What is the future projects like you young engineers going to develop? Yeah. So yes, let me talk about 5G. What is 4G? Interested in? Okay, I think Pega, that topic. What's your name? C963EE.
Why Rubesh?
Sorry?
Why Rubesh Kumar?
Why do they?
Kumar.
Oh, okay, your name. Okay, nice. You're interested in Pega or 5G?
Ma'am,
You interested to study about Pega or 5G?
Pega.
Pega. Okay, nice, nice. Good that you can actually learn. You have a lot of courses outside available. You can take it. 4G supports. Who is this? Sono. Yes, of course, the fourth generation. What it does is my question. What services it provides, ma? Okay, let's talk about 5G. You know what is 4G? The speed, how many, like whatever, when you're streaming Netflix or YouTube or anything, any apps, if you want to open, it's giving a good speed now. But this is not the end, right? We will be moving forward to the future, and we want more speed, more, automations, artificial intelligence to be in place tomorrow. Yeah. So changing market condition, the existing conditions, they'll be changing. They'll be providing more connectivity, more speed, no jittering when you talk. Blah, blah, blah. Now also we have jitterings, right? Like somebody is talking and some breakage of voice is there. Those things will be taken care of in 5G. Yeah. So what it is giving in mobile broadband is peak speed 20 Gbps. Imagine 20 Gbps you're going to get in 5G. It'll be like super fantastic for you guys. Yeah. Edge area will be 100 Mbps. Yeah, 8K. It supports 8K video. 5G. With your mobile internet, it might be very difficult to watch a 8K video, right? So 5G is going to give you that. And ultra reliable and low latency. Latency rate is very low here. It's ultra reliable. Yeah. So here also, no, now we have fast tags, right? What it has a sensor, so we can actually develop something in IoT and put a mixture of IoT, artificial intelligence together. You can place a sensor in the car without even a barcode chart. It's not actually, sensing it properly. So you should have a device for a FASTag. Yeah. So your car should also have a device. The board should be connected to an internet, any internet. Yeah. So if you go, it should automatically, the time should be saved. You should not be waiting, scanning the barcode. Two people are coming and trying to, it's not working. Two people are trying to come and, try to scan your thing and it's not working. Again, they're moving your shutter there somewhere. Like they're trying to do everything. That's not what we want. We are trying to be, quick as much we can, right? So yes, that can happen in 5G. It's ultra reliable. Okay, yeah. So then, yeah, so it's interesting, right? It can actually connect to 1 million devices per square meter, kilometer square. Awesome, right? That's actually huge. That is not there in 4G. So a high energy efficiency. The basic, they're going to give 1 minute. Yeah. Let's see the benefits of 5G. Okay. Yeah, these are the benefits. Deep coverage, strong security. Security is very important. Already they are saying the 4G is very secure and all. They'll make it more secure, finalized, because everything now is digitalized. Your phone bill, current bill, milk bill, everything, whatever you want to buy is completely, especially in Corona, everyone would have been paying through, everyone, like almost 99% have switched to digitalization, right? Paytm, PhonePe. So we need a better security for a bank account. So 5G is going to provide that. All right. So yeah, I spoke about latency, extreme user mobility. What is it? Sorry. Mm. Up to 500-kilometer mobility. Great. So these are the benefits: low, ultra low energy, complexity is less, extreme capacity. Summary. Download will be faster. Whether 5G is safe, ma'am? Yes, they are actually improving the security for 5G. What is latency? Latency is, for example, if you have an autonomous vehicle, right, which is automatically driving, it should sense immediately. That response should be immediate, right? Yeah, it is doing something wonderful with artificial intelligence, but the response should be quick. It cannot decide, by the car is running, somebody is trying to cross the road. It should analyze it quickly. It should not, go and hit somebody and then analyze. That's actually bad. So that is a latency thing. So yeah, then what else? What is this? Okay. Without buffering, exactly. Spoke about it. We'll go to next slide. Usage, 5G usage scenario. So enhanced mobile broadband. You can, without even an internet connection at home, we are trying to provide everything in the mobile, the extra data, usage, everything. Yeah. So self-drive example, best example is self-driving car, the autonomous vehicle. Yeah. Mission critical application like health. Okay. So have you heard about robotic surgery? Anyone? It's very interesting, right? Robotic surgery. What you get it from there? What are you? What is suddenly clicking your mind after hearing robotic surgery? Injurious to health. Then why are you encouraging that? Nowadays, for this thing, but not for the future. See, anything, okay, then anything is injurious to health, right? Why you have a smartphone today? Tell me. Sonu, why you want if it is injurious to her? But yeah, it is day by day, yeah, not immediately in future, of course. But these are all part of technology and future, part of everything is like technology is going to revolve you completely. Without that, life is not so easy like we have today, right? Example, if you're taking Zoom, if Zoom is not invented, we are not going to connect. You will be wasting time sitting at home to college to reopen or school to reopen, right? To gain some knowledge. We have internet. Everything is actually not only 4G or 5G is very, injurious to health. Anything, any data, we have lot of satellites and everything is actually injurious, but you can't help it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it's not about 4G is safe and all. Who told? What is safe comparatively from 5G? It is also going to be safe. Don't worry. Yeah. Mm. So augmented reality. It's actually augmented reality is virtual reality. Hey, do you remember the Samsung phone had some VR glasses? What is that? Like, yeah, you can put your phone inside and you can actually turn here and there and you feel that you are there lively. You can, those things, or augmented reality. It will be better in, basically that augmented reality. I've seen some, pictures in Facebook. If you tilt the phone, you can actually see the other side of the picture. Yeah. Those or augmented reality? Okay. Yeah, that's the best example. Right? You've been using Facebook for so long. You're seeing some beach picture. It's not only the straight view. You will get to know the panoramal view completely, like what is there here in the side. Complete the 360-degree view can be achieved by augmented reality. 5G is going to bring that more efficient. Okay, I actually missed one topic about cloud. 1 minute. Cloud computing. How did I miss it? Okay. These are the smart home building. Yeah. So basically, it tries to give you a broadband effect in your mobile. Is 5G. Okay, simple. Yes, this is the end of the slide, and I will just tell you about cloud computing, which I wanted to tell, which I forgot. Yeah. So cloud, what is cloud computing? Any idea, guys? Like, anyone? What is cloud? Yes, storage. That is what part of a cloud. Yes. Okay. So cloud computing is nothing but your network, your storage, your computer, everything will come in one place. Live. Yeah, you can talk. Okay. So live example of cloud is what? You store something. You don't need a physical device for that storage. You don't need a hardware or laptop. Only in this laptop you can access this information. Say you forgot your laptop, but you have all the information only in the laptop. What is going to do? That's not going to, yes, Google Photos, exactly. You're going to, if your phone is, damaged or it's not working, all your photos will be like, boom, gone. Yes, Gmail. A lot of examples are there for cloud. Somewhere outside the device, exactly. So this is a good idea, right? For not losing the data which you want, and you can easily access. You don't need actually a physical device on an infrastructure for that. You can go to any device, any laptop. You can just open your Google account, try to get your mails, documents in Google Docs, your iCloud, iPhotos. You can actually store it. All the storage is a very big example for cloud. So I will talk about this infrastructure part, which is if you want to start, if you want to be an entrepreneur tomorrow, if you want to start a company, you don't have to actually buy a real, data center, buy your own product, develop your own software for accessing it, or, you provide all these systems. It's not actually necessary nowadays, right? You just have to have a cloud. Basically, it is actually available in day-to-day life. Like Windows is giving, Azure. I had one slide. Let me show you. 1 minute. Cloud. So yeah, these are the cloud providers in the industry today. Big like AWS. You have heard about AWS. AWS is a very good technology now. They have a big cloud service. And they not only cloud computing. AWS is nothing but Amazon Web Service. Okay, basically it gives lot of other than it gives artificial intelligence. It gives cloud computing. Like 7 parts are there. Okay, you can just ponder it in the Google. So it provides lot of services. Every services they are trying to provide. Okay, through Amazon. They have their own servers, stacks, spaces of servers. They have 3 storage servers. Basically, it's huge. It's like huge, really huge. Those services, they can store how like billion number of data. Okay, so cloud is a part for them. So they provide a lot of storage. And Hotstar, right? It's an app. So they host a AWS server there. So IPL match, you can like they were showing it live. Lot of people have joined, like more than 10 crore, like 2 crore people have joined without any interruption, without any jittering. It was showing because of the AWS server. They actually host their things and the data in AWS. So back to the topic of entrepreneurship. You don't actually need an infrastructure to you don't actually have to buy the infrastructure. You can use it, like today's like Google, you can use it. If you see Microsoft, this Office part, if you go, what are the apps are there? Let's see. These are the infrastructure cloud. It stores here. You have Skype, Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. With this infrastructure, with any laptop, install this. With the cloud, you can access this. It's so easy. So it combines network, storage, computer in one place without any infrastructure, which is called cloud computing. Everything is tied with the service and the customer, and you don't have any space issue. If you want to upgrade a RAM, you don't have to actually go and buy a RAM. You can actually upgrade it in the cloud. You have a lot of storage in the cloud, right? Virtual machines. Exactly. So if you want to monitor something, you have to own a virtual machine. Now you don't actually own it. You can actually use it with the available software there, right? With zero cost. You can use it as a remote desktop in your system. So what happened? Remote desktop thing is a very good example, like you might not know. What we are doing is, my company is fully restricted with security, other things, okay? So I have my personal laptop. So I have given a desktop there. Like, unfortunately, when this Corona pandemic came, I have to, use my personal laptop for my work purpose. So they have given me I didn't install any software for that, right? I just installed a VM virtual machine, some VM, like for example VMware. Okay, I am using the VMware cloud now as a live example. I'm just creating it inside my that remote desktop. I can actually access my office things, right? So that's a live example I can give you. So yeah, we have come to end of our topic today. Thank you all for listening to me all this while, asking questions and being interactive with me. It's really a pleasure joining this call today. I'm just starting my
Ms. Ilakya. You can, yeah, it was a fine and wonderful session.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And now I call upon Dr. S. Karthikeyan, FIE, Fellowship Institute of Engineers, Head IEA Coordinator, to deliver the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the management of Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, I thank Ms. Ilakya for a valuable presentation. As far as the students are concerned, they are much more interested in the artificial intelligence. So it is a quite good topic, as well as you have delivered it very nicely, and you have clarified the doubts and other things. So we thank you, Ilakya, Ms. Ilakya, for your valuable presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I really, I was so excited to meet the students and talk about whatever, I'm working lively. I wanted to just tell them and just give some information about what is IT, what we are doing currently in the project and all. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the session.
Students, the feedback link and the link for certificate is shared in the chat box. You can enter the data and it will be sent, the certificates will be sent to the email ID which you are entering in the feedback form. So fill it correctly. And the recording of this session will be uploaded in the YouTube link, Satyabama IEI student branch. Satyabama IEI YouTube link. Okay. Thank you all.